Hi everyone, I'm Ken from Crypto Trading KS. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently 54,112, down 1.38%. Ethereum up 1.75% to 3607. My goal is to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, and also gain real wealth in the process. I have hidden knowledge gems throughout this video. Unless you watch to the end, you'll miss them. See how many you can find. Rule 774, master yourself to master the market. An important part of self-mastery is knowing that you are worthy and unique. You deserve kindness, love, meaning, and every success in life. The KS community focuses on real wealth. Real wealth is much more than just money. Real wealth includes inner and outer peace, fulfillment and meaning, purpose, fearlessness, empathy and love, all those wonderful things that really bring sunshine into someone's life, and of course also money, which is incredibly important for security. Rule 719, let go. Let go is important as a philosophy in life. Many things impact us on a daily basis. Some things are downright unfair. However, if we hold on to them, they cause us even more pain. Letting go releases that energy and allows you to take a positive step forward in your life. Turning to KS zone analysis, the 4 stages that every investor and trader progresses through to become consistently profitable and attain real wealth. Zone 1 is the panic zone. This is all about internal panic that's basically caused because when people enter the crypto space, they expect certainty. There is no certainty in crypto. It takes a lot of courage to move past that panic into the blame zone, Zone 2, which is a form of external panic. Zone 2 is about external panic. Conflict, attacking others. Zones 1 and 2 are all about the quest for certainty. Certainty and investment returns or trading returns, they are not correlated. Uncertainty is what makes you the money. It's very difficult to let go of internal and external panic, but when investors and traders do that, when they develop a sense of independence and understanding and patience, they can move into Zone 3. Zone 3 and Zone 4 are all about probability and rules. Zone 3 is the patience and rule zone. Zone 3 is all about probabilistic fearlessness, knowledge and forgiveness, accountability and learning. There have been many instances in life about very successful people in Zone 3, but they don't get to Zone 4. Living in Zone 3 without meaning is emptiness. It's really important to have meaning as well. Zone 4 is all about inner and outer peace, authenticity, fulfillment, integrity, honor, and self-worth. To bridge Zone 3 to Zone 4, gratitude and worthiness are really important. A key way to master yourself, to master the market, if you're in Zone 2, for example, or if you know someone in Zone 2, them being able to let go will help them move to Zone 3. Zones 1 and 2 have been associated with a light switch. Zone 1 and 2 behavior is literally all in or all out. Zone 3 and Zone 4 behavior is generally like a dimmer. It comes on gradually, layering into trades and layering out. It's a very hard life to live in Zone 1 and Zone 2. It's like you have a dartboard and you have an unlimited number of darts and you must hit the bullseye every single time. You can't get close to the bullseye, you must hit it dead center every time. Zones 1 and 2 seek 100% certainty, being 100% correct 100% of the time with zero loss. That no wonder there's so much panic in those zones. Letting go of those foundations, moving to discipline, probability, awareness, patience, and being okay with loss is a very good way to conceptualize the difference between the 2 levels, Zone 1 and Zone 2, and Zone 3 and Zone 4. In Zones 3 and 4, things are treated from a probabilistic stance. If something happens, I do this, and if it doesn't happen, I do that. There's always up and down strategies. If it works out, there's a strategy. If it doesn't work out, there's a strategy too. And it's never all in or all out. Investors and traders can put their money in a virtually unlimited number of investment vehicles. Looking at the S&P 500, the proxy for stocks, it's up 27% over the past year. Gold is down 8%. Bitcoin is up 401%. When people look at these very large percentages, they think Bitcoin only goes up. It doesn't. It's an incredibly volatile asset class. It's just good to prepare yourself mentally. In the stock market, 8 to 11% corrections occur very infrequently. 20% plus corrections or bear market triggers occur even less frequently. Those corrections and bear market triggers occur just as a normal part of life in the crypto market, but a reduction of 20% or more does not trigger a bear market if the market is in the bull phase and prices are on an upward trend. Turning to Bitcoin and Ethereum market capitalization, we see we're over the line of major structural repair. We've come back to retest that line. Now we're resuming off. That's very positive price momentum, and it's being supported. We also need to pay attention that the US debt ceiling limit will become an issue, if it does become an issue, in around 11 days. The Evergrande issue, which is not so much about Evergrande, it's really about the property market in China. We're going to know about that in about 17 days. So there's a little bit of time between here and these two red lines. I just bring your attention to that. Turning to the Crypto Fear and Greed Index, we've got a current rating of 74, which is greed. We had extreme greed in the past session. You can see the optimism returning to the market, doing a little bit of a retracement. That's kind of normal. That's what happens when price goes up so much. It's always moving in a wave. It needs to retrace to be healthy. Bitcoin is currently trading at 54,176. We can see that Bitcoin has been very well supported at the 52,658 mark. This is a very strong upward support line, and we can see the price is being really very well supported. There's considerable support below Bitcoin's current price at 50,389, 50,000 even, which is a key psychological level, and 49,691. The important thing to always bear in mind, crypto, the prices of cryptos are always moving in a wave. We've had a wave up here, quite a very strong one. We would expect a wave down at some stage, or that may be shortly lived. There are a lot of storm clouds in the markets, but for now, let's just focus on price, because we've actually crossed this key psychological resistance and also the 52,658 mark. Part of being in level 3 and level 4 is flexibility. We just have to meet the reality where it is and act accordingly. Ethereum is currently trading at 3608. We can see good positive momentum. It's got above this key support once resistance at 3319. It's hovering around key resistance levels now. The key resistance is 3649, which Ethereum is trying to make its way up towards. We can see momentum is gathering. Currently, Ethereum is underperforming Bitcoin. Why might that be? The Chinese crackdown on crypto caused the second largest Ethereum mining pool, Spark Pool, to close on the 30th of September. Coming up, B Pool will be closing, and that's the fourth largest Ethereum mining pool. This is all part of the Chinese crackdown. I expect there will be more issues with the China crackdown. I don't believe it's FUD at all. I think it's just taking time to play out, exactly the same as the Evergrande situation. Financial markets tend to be slow in the absorption of information. There's also some very disturbing things floating around about Tether. That's why we keep our eye on it. The major important thing is if you are feeling a sense of panic at level 1, level 2, it's important that we just be aware of these things and scale in and scale out. The good thing is that we are actually looking for these issues. They're still on the radar. These red lines are still here. We're still talking about the consequences of what happened in China and looking actively at Tether. But even with all of that in mind, we have to just keep a positive attitude. If the potential price action is positive, we just have to go with it. The key is just to have strategies for the upside and the downside. Like I said here in Ethereum, be aware of the risks, have an upside and a downside risk strategy in play. For Ethereum, when Ethereum bypasses the 3649 mark, the next real target is 39.35. We would expect price to go up there. Looking at support levels, major support at 33.19, also support at 35.15, 34.47, 33.94. We have major structural support at 27.96 and 26.09. And if we just extend this once resistance turns support line, we also have good support at 29.88. Turning to Bitcoin options, for options expiring at the end of the month, October 29th, the put-call ratio 0.42, total open interest 33,806.7. We see the max paying price with the majority of the options expire worthless is 45,000. Turning to Ethereum options, expiring at the end of the month, October 29th, put-call ratio 0.48, total open interest 194,630, the max paying price 3,200, where the majority of the options expire worthless. A key question we ask ourselves, is the price momentum being supported by real cash flows? That's why we look at the Bitcoin stablecoin supply ratio SSR oscillator, this blue line. We can see stablecoins have been flowing into the market and also flowing into Bitcoin. This is really positive for price being supported. We also need to check the futures open interest across all exchanges. You can see the very positive correlation between price and futures open interest. We've got about 17.8 billion in futures open interest. Let's check the current number. It's just slightly higher at 18.3 billion. That's a very positive sign. The more open interest we get into the market, the more prices will increase. But we also have to bear in mind, when things get too overheated, there's profit taking. It's always coming down to having strategies from both sides. What happens when it goes up? What happens when it comes down? That's level 3 and level 4 thinking. Across the past 24 hours, there's been about $154 million worth of liquidations across approximately 56,000 traders. In the past 12 hours, about 64% of liquidations were long. If we have a look at the price chart here, the liquidation chart, we can see the liquidations are not very great at the moment. Generally, we want to see big liquidations occur on either the short side or the long side to give us some indication of where the overall trend is going. These big spikes like you saw here and here with the red, they tend to confirm a change in trend. We can gain a lot of insight when we look at the stable coins. USDT, Tether, we can see it's decreasing in circulating supply whilst USDC is increasing. Now, why is that? Because there are potential probes into Tether at the moment. Also, Jerome Powell said that Tether and any company that issues stablecoins should be treated just the same as a bank or money market fund. What we see here is the smart money flowing into USDC. USDC by Circle is a very reputable firm, quite well backed and is seeking to list on the securities exchanges conditions and terms, so it's actually playing ball. We see BUSD slightly coming down, DAI slightly coming down, and PAX not doing too much. But the important thing to note is that USDT circulating supply is being absorbed by USDC. These things take a little bit of time to play out, but this is something we always looked at in our community. You'll be hearing a lot of stories about Tether in the news. It's really important to understand if Tether is actually under risk. What we do is go to bybit.com. In the search box, just simply type USDT. You will get this page. The perpetuals and the futures, what it's all about, we're just looking at the moment at the open interest. If you consider that Tether is over $60 billion in circulating supply, if there is a problem like a bank run on Tether, you will see this going into the hundreds of millions and then billions and then tens of billions. We're not seeing anything like that, and we look at it every day. So far, everything is fine. Rule 109, enhance pattern recognition. This is potentially one of the most valuable skills that you will ever learn. Rule 24 is also very valuable. Layer multiple probabilities. I'll explain how both work. When it comes to pattern recognition, what we're looking at, we discussed this in the last episode about Axie Infinity. These are the top 33 cryptos on Binance. We were talking about Axie Infinity and its price potential or probabilities. We noticed this upward support line here. Price was just a little bit below. Now we can see that it tried to get above but was rejected. This is on the way down, so we have a confirmed price going on the way down, but it's around a level of support now. When you look at pattern recognition, you have to think about what is the probability. For example, if it's down here, what's the probability it will go up? So what we've seen is an uptick here, but not as high as this. So it's not showing strength. It may need a bit more time to get through it. We also notice this peak. This peak is lower. So that didn't have enough strength, even though it was pretty much at support. It couldn't meet this peak. That showed us that the potential momentum was fading. Now, what do we notice about Luna? This is the second one, this blue line here. Luna is starting to come up. It's crossed above a level of resistance, is starting to make a play. This is really good in terms of your pattern recognition skills. So what do you think about Axie Infinity now? In the current position, what do you think it may do? This is just a bit of a thought experiment. I never recommend any specific crypto for you because I don't know your circumstances and I don't know your risk tolerance. I don't know so many different things. What we're just doing is trying to understand, as a community, what do you think will happen to this? And more importantly, why? How can you layer the probabilities together? Let's have a look at the top 8. We can see Binance Coin. What I've done here is I've put Bitcoin's price chart, which I call Bitcoin's fingerprint, over the particular alts here. It just gives you a really good way of seeing how a move in Bitcoin is playing out on the particular alt, because we know no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. The gravity is always there, pulling up, pushing down. Let's have a look at Binance Coin. What do we notice about this difference? Binance Coin started to repair before Bitcoin did. This is a really good way of looking at things. Then Binance Coin continued up, and it was almost predicating the increase of Bitcoin with that particular price action. This very, very powerful thing to look at. Binance Coin is currently trading at 439.60. It has support at 422.30 and 380.90. Cardano, what are we seeing with Cardano here? It followed Bitcoin's fingerprint, Bitcoin's trajectory very well, until it got to here. Bitcoin was going up, ADA was coming down. You notice this divergence. It's really important to look for divergences. Why? Bitcoin's gravity can make you a fortune. If you looked at this and you saw ADA was coming down and you said, oh, wow, that's interesting. ADA's coming down, Bitcoin's going up. There's always a gravitational pull at some stage with Bitcoin and alts. That's why tracking divergence can be very profitable. We can see XRP, Bitcoin's fingerprint and XRP seem very closely associated, correlated with each other. We can see Sol. What's happening with Sol? Very powerful run up to a peak, crossed a level of support here, made its way down as Bitcoin was making its way up. Was there, for example, people swapping out of Sol, taking profits up here, putting them into Bitcoin? Absolutely, that's always on. The real goal in the crypto market is to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible. Professional traders often just go after the alts as a way of gearing into Bitcoin more effectively. Looking at Dogecoin, Doge has very nicely followed Bitcoin's price action. Having a look at DOT, DOT is also following Bitcoin's price action. This gives us an insight. Have they connected in terms of their sync, or are they out of synchronization? In and out of synchronization, well, I can't even say it, is a very powerful thing to look at. In sync, out of sync. Let's look at 6 more. We can see with Luna was following Bitcoin, coming up, doing really well, and then diverged from Bitcoin's momentum, coming down. And of course, Bitcoin's gravity would naturally pull this one up in due course. It doesn't happen instantly. I think that's what a lot of people miss. In financial markets, things can take a long time to play out. In crypto, it's really, really fast. But in the stock markets, it can take months or even years for things to play out. In crypto, it can take days. That's why I love crypto. It's so cool. Let's have a look at Uni. What's happening there? We can see from Uni, it had a very big spike up because of the China-related issues that are happening there. And then what happened? Bitcoin came down and we can see Uni coming down. Bitcoin went up, we can see Uni coming up. Bitcoin consolidated, Uni started to come down on profit taking, and it came down as Bitcoin is going up. What is likely to happen next? It's the gravity is likely to pull in, to kick in. You can see how multifaceted Rule 45 is. No alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. I can tell you, you're just scratching the surface. I've got so much more to share with you. Rule 235, track directional correlation, correlations, and divergences. Now I hear you say, Ken, what are you talking about? Okay, Litecoin. See the correlation between Bitcoin in that orangey gold line and Litecoin's price behavior. You can see it with Bitcoin Cash. It's different with Uni, isn't it? And it's different with AVAX. This is a correlation. A directional correlation is how things move. For example, Uni price comes down, Bitcoin price comes down. We see what's happening here. Bitcoin is going up. What is Uni doing? It's going up. This is called directional correlation. What is a divergence? AVAX. AVAX, price coming down. Bitcoin, price going up. This is a divergence. It's very, very powerful to use that particular rule. It literally opens your eyes. It can't be unseen when it's seen. I really love sharing these things with you. This has taken me many, many decades to understand the interplay between different mathematical formats that come out in charts. And that's saying a lot because I used to lecture first and second year stats for many, many years. The financial markets are just absolutely intriguing and fascinating. I hope you gain a love for them as I have. Returning to AVAX, we can see this directional divergence playing out. Fascinating stuff. Keep your eyes on these things. What do we see with Chainlink? We see a correlation occurring. Very nice. They're moving in the same direction. Literally, Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash are exactly what Bitcoin is doing, but of course to greater and lesser percentage degrees. Looking at the major markets, we can see the NASDAQ is coming up. The S&P 500, the inverse VIX, this means fear is coming out of the market. The Dow Jones coming up, nearly broken that resistance. And this is where pattern recognition comes in with your eyes. What do you see in the Russell 2000? Do you see it's still under resistance or it's past resistance? What about the NASDAQ? Has it passed resistance or still under resistance? The S&P 500 under or past? Some people have actually asked me, Ken, why do you track the NASDAQ? Why not the S&P 500? The NASDAQ is the technology index, and Bitcoin is a technology play. It's literally Bitcoin and cryptos are the foundation for the next internet, the internet of money. I'd like to share something more with you. I'd like to share about tight trend lines. What we've done here is literally draw from this peak to this peak and just extend it. I've seen a lot of people say, well, you should move the trend line around, and absolutely you can do whatever you want. You're an artist, there are no rules. But if you draw it here and then just keep extending it across, what basically happens is you're allowing the price action to reveal itself. Now, I've done exactly the same thing here. I've joined this low to this higher low and just extended it. I haven't tried to fit that line, that particular low. I just let the line breathe. Now, what's happened here? When we look, this is, for example, volatility. So the volatility, the VIX, the stock market's fear gauge is coming down. What does that mean? It means the fear is leaving the market, although it is still quite high. Anything around 20 is quite high from what we've been viewing in the past. What do we see here? There's an actual level of resistance on the NASDAQ 100 around 15,132. Now, it doesn't matter if you don't trade the main markets. What matters is your pattern recognition skills, how you draw trend lines. It's so valuable to do this kind of analysis. We have room for uptick in the market. Hopefully that's exactly what it does. We'll have to wait and see to find out. It could come back and retest this particular support at 14,623 and make a play again for, say, 15,065. Generally, the market is still in a positive momentum stage. The US dollar currency index, what do we see here? It's on the way up. And it's really important to just let price reveal itself. What do we notice about Bitcoin? Bitcoin is rallying up. Fantastic, go Bitcoin. What about the bond prices? Bond prices are coming down, and yields, bond yields, the 10-year is coming up. Note that I've just drawn that from that line to that point and then just extended. I haven't tried to move it to include that lower blip, if you like, or this. I don't care about those. I just care about these 2 points here and extending it. I've done exactly the same thing here, drawn it from this peak to that first peak. And you might say, Ken, why on earth would you do that? You don't know how to draw trend lines. Well, it's my artistry, I guess. After being in the markets for so long, I want really fast and tight signals. I don't want to move lines around to create self-fulfilling prophecies. I've seen a lot of people do that and they come unstuck by doing it. That's why I said technical analysis can really cost you. If you expect a certain thing to happen, you may just alter your chart to make it happen, but it doesn't happen. So that's why we always have to keep our eye on price. When we look at this from this peak to this peak, and this could be on your beloved alt, it doesn't have to be on bond prices. So you look at this to this and you just draw it down. What is it telling you? Every chart will tell you a story. It's like reading a book of some sort. It has a story to tell. Let the story come out through your trend lines here. When we see the yields, we can see they're bouncing off support and doing quite a good job. We would expect the bond prices to keep on going down until this trend line is violated on the yields. They move inversely from each other. What about gold? We can see drawing it from that peak to that peak and just cutting down. It's made a higher price than this previous resistance. That either shows a reversal or a weakening of the downtrend. Now this is really positive action for gold. It's consolidating around this current price, 1759. It could always go a little bit lower to 1752. It's quite funny when coming from a crypto background, when we look at this, we say, Ken, that's just like a couple of dollars. We can see cryptos just ranging crazy amounts per day. That's why they're so fun. Let's have a look at light crude. Just from that point to that point. We could even do it, like, for example, from that point to this point if we wished. It really depends on how you want price to speak to you and how you draw the lines. What is this showing us? It's showing us a very different thing than this, isn't it? This is why I put it in. I wanted to show you how some lines can be deceiving. So if we draw it there, what do we see? We see that it's weakening in terms of its uptrend. It's a really fascinating thing. That's why I said you've got to be really careful of pure technical analysis. Many TA experts, and there are a lot of them out there, they say you must do it this way. I say no, there are no rules. You can do it any way you want. As long as you're consistent, as long as it makes you money, you're an artist, go out and be one, and don't worry about what other people think. Now let's have a look at Binance derivatives. Why are we doing this? This link is in the description of this video too, if you'd like to go and look at it. We're trying to find price pressure. Binance is the world's largest crypto exchange. What we see here, 24-hour trading volume, 72.6 billion, and 24-hour open interest around 11.2 billion. They're pretty healthy. What we see is this percentage. You note that it's negative for Bitcoin. This means the pressure is on Bitcoin decreasing in price. Ethereum is green, 2%. That means Ethereum is seeking to increase in price. As we go down, let's have a look at the main players. So we can see all of these above 10% are looking pretty good. FTM, EGLD, Chiliz, STMX, Luna, Coty, TLM, and NIA. If we go the other way, what are the greatest losses? We can see SHIB is under price pressure. DYDX is also under price pressure. DYDX has been on a tear as well as SHIB. It's very expected that prices will move around. Let's have a look at coin market cap. It has 12,475 cryptos. Wow, it's increasing every day. The top ones, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance Coin, ADA, Cardano, USDT, 68 billion of USDT, XRP, Solana, Polkadot, USDC, about 33 billion, and DOGE. Let's have a look at the greatest gainers over the past 24 hours. Bitcoin SV, Phantom, Elrond, EGLD, Chiliz, Luna, NIA, Algo, AVAX, DOT. Please let me know if there are any particular cryptos that you would like me to analyze in the next episode. We'll just have limited space, but please let me know in the comments of YouTube. What are the greatest gainers over the past 7 days? SHIB, doing really well. Phantom, Axie Infinity, Clayton, Arweave, Icon, Bitcoin SV, Seacoin, Chiliz, and Theta. What are the greatest losses over the past 24 hours? SHIB, DYDX, Bitcoin Gold, Axie Infinity, Helium, Monero, XMR, Flow, Stellar, XLM, XDC, and Internet Computer. What about the greatest losses over the past 7 days? We can see very small losses. XCC, DYDX, AVAX, HT, AMP, and stablecoins. I'd like to thank all our beautifully generous, kind and appreciative community members who have bought me a coffee on buymeacoffee.com/cryptotradingks. Thanks so much, everyone. I'd just like to thank Vicente, Cass, welcome to our channel. Stephen wrote a very nice comment in here. I've just highlighted it so it's a little bit easier. Thank you, Stephen, for your very kind comment, teaching us more than just trading, but also inspiring us. Stephen has moved away from his job and making more spare time for his kids and family and seeking a way to give back to society. How absolutely beautiful. The freedom and working from any location that comes from trading is just wonderful. And he says, thank you for providing the spark no matter what happens. Well done, Stephen. It's really beautiful. Family's so important. And thank you, Crypto No Stress. Becoming a better trader and better person every day. How absolutely beautiful. If you'd like to go and read what many incredible community members have written, you can just go to buymeacoffee.com/cryptotradingks. Thank you to everyone. Our community is just incredible. I'm so honored and humbled to know you all. I hope you found the content useful. Please consider sharing and liking this video if you think it will help others. Thank you to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers. Please say hi and let me know where you're viewing from and if you have any questions. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video too. I just wanted to let you know I've been a little bit delayed in getting content out and responding to people because I have a loved one that's sick and I'm just looking after her at the moment. Just wanted to let you know. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.